If you're listening to me on Spotify, welcome to the Spotify audio experience. I'm joined today by a very special guest. This is the Business of Creation podcast, season 2, episode 1. We had to bring out the big guns. The title of the show might have drawn you here. It's called How the Duck Did I Get Here? And it's a question that most adults ask past the age of 30. How did I get here? What am I doing? And the only person that I could think of to bring in to answer this deep philosophical question was a very successful founder that I've not discovered. I mean, like, I just was on crypto Twitter, and then this guy with ducks and a sanctuary came about my timeline. I've got him. He's in the studio, and he's not outside freezing his cojones off. We're from Jersey, so we say cojones. I'm going to bring him on. Everybody, this is the Business of Creation podcast, the podcast where we talk about creating a business. This is my special guest today. Let's everybody give a warm welcome to Ducksonx, Ducky. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well, Danny. I really love the intro to it. It has a nice ring to it. How the duck did I get here? That's a question I've been asking myself for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are asking how the duck they got here. So, Duck, why don't you tell people how you got here? How did you end up on this podcast? Like, what's going on, man? Like, why don't you start simple? Who are you?
Well, yeah, so for everybody that doesn't know, I go by Duck or just Duck It, as it says on my hat. And it is upside down because my life got flipped upside down. Just like that, what was that show? Fresh Prince. How did a duck manage to get here? You have to meet somebody as cool as Danny to have a podcast to get onto in the first place. So I think that is, I want to give you your flowers because if it wasn't for you having a platform, I wouldn't even be in the first place, right? But I guess this kind of starts from years ago. I mean, I don't know, like, what do you want to know?
I want to know your origin story. I know your origin story, but like, let's pretend for a second, Ducky, that on Spotify, somebody driving to their shit bagging 9 to 5, they're wondering how to break out. How do they be successful? They're listening to a podcast of successful people. Like, obviously, before you're successful, you got a lot of things you got to do and like things that you come from. So, like, where did you come from before
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
this? Who are you, man?
yeah.
What did you do?
Well, I don't claim to be very educated. I barely made it through high school, and I dropped out when I got to the bookstore at college. So that tells you a whole lot. Um, my 9 to 5 was a almost a 24/7. After high school, I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do, so I just went and got this warehouse there for a couple of years, and I could save up money to go to school because that's right. Like you get out of school, and everybody goes to school, and if you don't go to school, it's like kind of it's not normal. Well, long story short, I ended up meeting this guy in the sales industry and decided I'm gonna give sales a try. I'm not very good at sales, never been good at sales, but it was an excuse for me to dress up fancy, and it made me think that hey, this is our way to get out of the 9 to 5. We're gonna learn sales. We did that for about 7 years. We traveled the country, sold a bunch of shit. I was not somebody that made a shit ton of money. I was just, it was a 9 to 5. You get up and you go sell some shit, and then you got to go through the cycle of emotions and the cycle of not being, good at that, and then learning how to get good at that. So, just like everybody else, having to, survive and pay my bills and take care of myself. So, how did I break away from that 9 to 5? Is a very interesting occurrence of events. I had gotten a promotion, and that had forced me to relocate. My significant other wasn't, willing to relocate with me, and we all know how that goes. If you haven't been in a long distance relationship, it's tough. And long story short, I got out of the 9 to 5. Just wanted to rekindle my relationship, and when you go to chase the thing that everybody needs, which is finance and security, to go chase a relationship, you're gonna end up losing both. So there I was. I had to tuck my tail between my legs and move back in with my mom, and that went well for a whole 2 months. I don't know if you've ever had to like, move out of your parents' house and then move back into your parents' house. It's never the same because
Currently.
you should be a lot further ahead in life and you're not, So, at that age, it's like, hey, I have been paying my bills. I was paying my bills. I was doing all of these things, but why am I back in my mom's house and I don't have the money coming in? And like, I'm relying on her, so long story short there, that's how I had that's like the spark notes of, my history. While I was living at my mom's, she had her and her husband had impulsively bought some baby ducks, and then they grew up, and then and then I come in. When I come in, I had noticed, and no shade against them, they're busy, they're working, doing a whole lot of stuff, but they weren't necessarily paying attention to those ducks. So I started taking care of them. I was like, well, these ducks, they live in a shit stain. I got to clean it up, because if you don't know anything about birds, they poop a lot. They poop all over all the time. And like, you got to go clean that stuff out. You got to clean their pools. So I just started cleaning the pools, and I was like, I'd never done something like this before. I was just like, the CEO of a sales business wearing like, loafers and suits. And now I'm like shuffling around in a pool of duck shit. Like, how did I get here in the first place? And I thought, there's no better way than to turn the camera on and upload this to YouTube, because like, I can't believe that this is my life right now. So I'm sure somebody else maybe can or can't believe it. So I just decided to put it on YouTube. And that kind of started like the just duck it. I was like, just duck it. We got some ducks. We're gonna put it on YouTube. Everybody's putting stuff on YouTube these days. We'll run with it, right? And then one day I had walked out there, and I had noticed there were some eggs that were cracked open. I had found to keep it PG, I had found a couple of baby birds that didn't make it, and I had found one that was half in the shell, half out of the shell. And I had snatched it up before the other ducks had gotten to it, because ducks, they're dinosaurs. They eat everything. So I had snatched up this little baby duck, and I brought her into the house. And my mom's like, "You can't have a duck in the house." And I'm like, "Well, fuck, okay." So I brought her outside. I had made her like a little brooder. I got a heat lamp on her, and then I was like, "I hope she makes it." And everyone's saying like, "She's not gonna make it. She's not gonna make it." And I'm like, I hope she just makes it. Like, at this point in my life, man, I just went from the penthouse to the outhouse, right? So identity crisis, I'm like holding on to reality. And the only thing kind of holding me here was like, this duck is going to make it, this duck is going to fucking make it. And she ended up making it. A couple days later, I went out there, and I heard some cheeping, and I was like, oh my gosh, she made it. So I picked her up, and I was holding her, and it was a cute little duck in my hands. And I'm like, this is so cool. The duck, she's here. And little did I know at the time, ducks, they're the type of animal that when they hatch, the first thing they see is their mother. They imprint on you. And I didn't know this at the time. So the first thing that she sees when she hatches is me. And I'm like, let's go. And she starts following me around everywhere. And I'm like, I can't leave the duck outside. She's following me in the house. Like, she's got to live in the house. So I went on Amazon and bought like a little playpen to let the duck sleep in, so that way it wouldn't poop everywhere. But I was just like, that, Mom, the duck's got to be in the house. It has to be. It's following me in the house, So I would sleep with the duck, like it would sleep on my chest, and I'd wake up and there was poop all over me, and there was poop on the bed, and eventually I started putting like towels down. I was going through the house and just putting down like old beach towels and stuff, so it would poop on that and not everywhere else. And I was like, all right, duck, I can't keep doing the pooping. Like, you have to sleep in the playpen, right? Pooping everywhere. And that for a while I would put it next to the bed, and she'd sleep in the playpen, and it was great. And wake up and there's poop everywhere. I'd go hose it out. Who would have thought I'd have a little duck in the house? I didn't go out and buy a duck. I didn't. Ducks were like on the internet until I started posting these videos on the internet of ducks. And then I started seeing other ducks on the internet. I'm like, holy shit, like, other people have ducks too. Like, I'm not the only one. So I guess that's like the origin story of like, how did I create an online presence, right? I came across this duck at a very low point in my life, and it started putting videos and stuff on the internet. Now, I started seeing success with it, right? I had my first short video. This was when Jasmine was about 2-3 weeks old. She was, big enough to go to the lake with me, and she was sitting on my lap, and we're sitting at the marina. And I just posted this video of the duck, and then I just up to the lake, right? And I got 1,000 views, like almost immediately. I posted on YouTube Shorts, got 1,000 views. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, maybe like I can make some videos. You know what I'm saying? Because before, when I was making the videos and posting them to YouTube, I was getting like 1 view, 0 views. You know, I'm like, I'm just doing this for the hell of it. You know, like there's no plan behind this. But that first short that I got 1,000 views on, I was getting people commenting, saying like whatever. I don't remember at this point. But I was like, I can do this, you know? So I just started taking videos, doing things with the duck. You know, I would like put her in the water, and it would be a video of her swimming in the water, and I'd upload it. And then I would be like a video of her walking down the dock with me, and I'd upload it. And you know, just short videos here and there. There was no editing, there was nothing to it, just short videos. And then my sister, she's younger than me, she's a lot younger than me. She was like, you should be on TikTok. And I'm like, I've avoided TikTok for so long because it's just like, it's so like, I don't care to watch this stuff, you know. For years I was building a real business, you know, I was doing sales. I didn't have time to like watch TikTok and care about all that. So I was like, all right, against my better judgment, my sister's younger, she's watching stuff, I'm putting stuff on the internet, I should listen to her, I should make a TikTok page. So I made a TikTok page, and then for a while I was like making YouTube Shorts, very bad quality, no editing. It was basically like I just hit record and then posted it. I started uploading it to TikTok, doing the both. And I was like, okay, so there's this thing called CapCut. It's TikTok wanting me to download CapCut, and then I had to learn how to edit a video. And I'm like, okay, like if I do this and then I do that, and then I started like chopping videos up and editing them and like putting the most cheesy effects on them. Like, you know, you can tell it's somebody like in mom's basement putting cheesy effects on something for the first time. It was terrible. And I posted this video on TikTok after doing this for like almost a year, right? And barely getting anywhere. I was just kind of doing it as like you know, I'd started doing it, so I kept doing it. It was something that I kept my mind, it kept me occupied. And I was working, you know, side jobs. And I was like, I'm not going to resales fucking career path again. So I ended up leaving there. And then my old boss tried to hire me back because he had seen me posting these videos. And like, he was like, you know how to run the sales business. So I went and worked with him a little bit just as a consultant and grabbing partners. It just turned into a shit show there. And I just kept doing these videos. And then I had a video. It was like the most simplest video. It was just me shaking a bag of peas. My ducks, they were running over to me, and then I poured the bag of peas in there, and it got over 1 million views, like almost in a day. Like it's sitting at like 1.3 million views. I was getting like people from all over TikTok to watch this duck video, and people were like, how did I get onto Duck Talk? And I'm like, maybe I really can do this. You know, I just got 1 million views on a video that I almost put I put effort into it. I put a year and a half of fucking making videos that nobody watched. Literally nobody watched. My grandpa was like, I like your duck videos. My grandpa was the only person liking my fucking duck videos for a year and a half. Right? So I'm just like, and now I'm getting 1 million views on a video. I'm like, well, shit, you know, maybe I can keep doing this, you know? Right. And that opened up the doors to like learn about affiliate marketing. And I'm like, well, shit, I sold physical products for years, IRL, you know, not on the internet, just face to face. Like I could sell a product on the internet, you know, I just post a video of me doing my sales pitch of whatever product I'm holding in my hands. You know, you want a keyboard, I got a keyboard. So I posted that video. I started posting like affiliate videos, and my affiliate videos were almost getting no views because it was like random products that I really didn't use. And I'm selling to people that have just been watching me fall on my face for a year and a half. Like the affiliates weren't going anywhere. And then we had our spark of the moment video. One of my friends had bought a pair of boots off TikTok, and he came over to the duck sanctuary, which I hadn't even we'd come across the duck sanctuary. But one of my friends had bought a pair of boots that were cheap boots on TikTok. He came over and he just started hard shilling these boots. Immediately he showed up and he was like, look at these boots that I just got. They were $45. I said, hold up, where'd you get them? TikTok. Hold that thought. Pulled my phone out, recorded it. I'm like, all right, tell me where you got these boots. And then I literally just hit record, and he told me about these boots. It's like a 10-second video. And I posted that up to the timeline, tagged him in there with the affiliate link for the boots on TikTok so you can get it. And that video got 1 million views on an affiliate link. I was like, holy shit. Like I made like, some money off that video. I was like, for the first time, and now it's 2 years of doing videos, I'm finally getting paid from a video. So anyways, I should backtrack how do we got to the duck sanctuary. I've done a lot of things IRL, right? Not everything that I do makes it to be on the camera. And then some things that I do don't even make it to the page that I'm my page, right? Like I just showed you, I had built a media page. I wasn't even affiliated with it. My face was never on it because the focus was on the Nashville Stars when I was living in Nashville, right? Which is another story. Let me go back in time really quick
Let's
to
do it.
how I started living in a car. So earlier I had said, you go from being able to take care of yourself to back in, mom's basement. And that dynamic only lasts for like, loving that I'm back. I haven't seen her in 5 years, because I was off track building some other shit. And she loves it for about 2 months. She's like, oh, you're doing the duck stuff. You're helping with doing stuff around I love it, And then 2 months go by and she's like, you need to get a job. And I'm like, I'm doing the internet videos. I don't need a job. What do you mean? Not making any money. I'm like, what do you mean I need a job? And against my better judgment, I was like, okay. She was like, you need to either get a job or get out. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out because I'm not going to stop doing these videos. And I'm not going to get a job. So I went and lived in my car for a month and a half, right? Literally just out in the fucking anywhere, just living in my car. It was terrible. I bought baby wipes, buy some baby wipes, and brush your teeth. That's all I can tell you. If you're living in a car, you brush your teeth, right? You'll figure everything else out. And deodorant. I don't understand the people that can't wear it. Like, just put some deodorant on.
Nothing, dude. It's so bad.
But anyways, I decided, all right, I'm gonna go live in my car because mom doesn't want to help me. She helped me for a little bit, so I love mom for that. But anyways, I had to go live in my car, and she had kept the ducks. At this point, Jasmine was a grown duck. Ducks grow. It takes them like a month or two to actually grow. So like, if you didn't know, now you know. Ducks grow quick. So she had, I'll keep Jasmine, you can come by, help Graham out, but like you just can't live here unless you get a job. And I'm like, I'm against getting a job. So one of my buddies that I had built, he had worked in my sales company in Oregon, and he had launched his own sales company when we were out there, but he is actually from the same place that I'm in right now. And we became, we just stayed friends over the years, regardless of the industry. And he had left that industry too, and his pops owned a restaurant and sold his restaurant out. But he wanted to be a business owner, so he went and got a restaurant set up in a small little golf course, right? So while I'm living out of my car and shit, I was getting up in the morning as soon as the sun was up, because if you live in your car, you wake up when the sun's up. You're gonna bake in the summertime if you don't. It's not gonna be good. But anyways, he was like, hey man, I'm launching this restaurant. I really could use some help. I was like, I'll come help you in the restaurant. To me, it wasn't working a job. I was making cash on the spot, and everything, because it was tips. It's a restaurant. You work in a restaurant, you make tips. But he had just launched his business. So I'm like, okay, I'll go help you start this business. I had learned how to cook and shit. I was like, what's your menu? All right, we don't have a menu. We're just making it up. All right, great. And then eventually, now it's a real restaurant. You know what I mean? Right. But shit up in a small little restaurant. We were cooking for the golf goers, and they loved it. And hey, Pat, man, I got these ducks, and I got shout outs to Pat. I just doxed his name. I was like, hey, I got these ducks, and they lay eggs. And low key, since he had taught me how to cook, I started cooking with these duck eggs, and like I make some really good duck eggs. So I brought a thing of duck eggs there. I cooked some duck eggs in this restaurant in the golf course for all of the managers and people at the golf course, and they fell in love with the fucking duck eggs. And I'm like, Pat, I got to do this, right? And that was right around the time that my old boss, my old partner in the sales industry, like called me like, hey, you want to come back and work for me again? Little did I know his business was falling apart, but that's okay. But it happens, right? So I don't want to throw all of it on him. Anyways, but I was like, hey, Pat, man, like your restaurant's going good. You just hired your brother. We had successfully launched a restaurant within 2-3 months, right? And now I'm getting an offer to go work back in the sales industry to where like I don't have to be homeless anymore. I love you, Pat. You've helped me out with the job. You let me, do some laundry from time to time. But like, I don't have to be homeless anymore. I got to go back out to Nashville. So that way I can get into the sales and not be homeless. And, at the time, like it worked out. We had, in the office that we had, there was a bedroom upstairs. So I at least could live inside somewhere. You know what I mean? I still didn't have a shower, but I had a toilet and what do you call it? A sink. So I could brush my teeth. I could wash my face, baby wipe, put on a suit. And then I was the first one in office every single day, and I was on my P's and Q's. Nobody knew who the fuck I was, but somehow I knew how to do everything. It didn't make sense. So that lasted for a couple of months, and then eventually we got into arguments, right? The sales business fell apart, the clients, blah, 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 the personal lives. I can only be homeless in an office to where I'm preaching that, I'm a successful business owner, but really I'm living upstairs. And, I was just living in my car last month. Things did not work out very well. It worked out for a month or two again, and then it didn't work out well. So then I had ended up being homeless again. So I was out in my car, sleeping, running around Nashville, just taking pictures on Broadway. I don't know, just what do you do when you got to keep yourself entertained? And then he had reached back out and he was like, hey man, I've been seeing that you're doing some really good work with your videos, your cameras. And he's like, I got a really great idea. Come live with me. We'll do some media stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're doing this media stuff really, which was me just booking apartments, never with the intention of moving into them, just to go walk around, tour them, and take pictures. Just, you know what I mean? You know how it goes. Like, hey, I rent this Lambo.
Yeah, you need
and
the
hey, look at me,
shots.
I got
Yeah, you need the shots.
Exactly. Where else could I go sit on the high rise in Nashville looking down on Broadway with
besides a free house
other than an apartment? So as we started doing this, we built this like one page of just like, I don't know, fancy shots. We built another page of just going around Broadway, going to bars and shit, just the culture. And I was like, buddy, we're not making any money doing this. He wanted to make some money. He came up with this elaborate idea to like make some shit up, and I was like, I'm not jiving with it, man. I got the Duck page. The Duck page is proven well. I think we should be doing the Duck page. We're gonna see a better, versus, no offense to what he had going on, but like I'm figuring it out a little bit more than somebody that's never figured it out before. I still don't have shit figured out, so don't quote me on this. But I was like, okay, all right, buddy, this isn't working out. I'm not making any money doing these things. It's costing me money to do these things with you, and I'm running out of money. And I'm going to keep doing the Duck page. So against my better judgment, I left and I went back to being homeless again. And in the craze of running around Broadway and having fun, I decided to go down there and ask for a job, which I got a job. You go down there and you just be persistent, you'll eventually get hired, right? So I was living in my car. I was going to get a job on Broadway. I worked there for like 2 weeks while I got a free parking pass in a garage. I was like sleeping in my car in the parking pass in the garage. Got my first paycheck, had the money to go move into a place. I moved into a place. I stayed there for like a month. And then like it got really weird between me and the landowner or the homeowner. I don't want to go into detail. It got really weird. I woke up one night and I just saw somebody staring at me through the door. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Again, I still had my job, which was great. And then I was on Facebook Marketplace. You're making money, flying by the seat of your pants. You're not going to get approved for an apartment. Even if you have a job and a stable income, you're probably not going to get approved for an apartment. So I'm on Facebook Marketplace looking for a place to stay, just cash. Let me get a place to stay. And then I moved into this other apartment, and he needed like a deposit, and he needed this other thing. And I was like, okay, great. I have an air mattress, an empty apartment, but I can afford it, and I don't have to sleep on the streets. And that I stayed there for about a month. I'm convinced that dude set me up, because within the end of the month, I was robbed at gunpoint. They were like, "Give me everything." I'm like, "Fuck!" Like I had a means to defend myself, but like it was in a bad spot, so I couldn't, and I didn't want to risk it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, take it. You can have my home, which was my car. I wasn't able to go back to the apartment because I just got robbed fucking at the apartment. They got my car now. They took my iPad. They took my laptop, which I had saved up to get. And I'm like, all right, now I'm back to fucking 2 years ago. I was just tucking my tail, moving back with my mom. Now one summer went by. Now we're into the next summer, and I'm back to square one, except now I'm fucking in Nashville with no car, no nothing, no. They took everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck. Eventually we got the car back. It was great. It still has some issues, but fuck it, whatever. Eventually we got the car back, which was great. And he's like, hey man, I see what you're doing. And like, I want to be able to help you out, right? Like, I've got this field, we're doing fucking nothing with it. And let put some ducks in there. Like, okay. Like, I got ducks, you know what I'm saying? And at this point, ducks anymore. Like, she's been watching me run around like an idiot for 2 years, trying to figure out how to do some things, and just constantly just getting the short end of the stick, getting fucked over, being homeless again, this, that. She's like, you got to get a job. And instead of getting a job, I got my car back. I loaded it with the ducks, and I brought it to this field. And I lived in this field for about 4 months through the end of September. So what was it? October, November, December, January, February, and then February I got out. But let me tell you, the whole time I was living in the bumfuck nowhere in the middle of a field, and all I knew was I have a TikTok page, I can go live, and I can get tips. And the tips fed my birds. In return, my birds laid eggs. I could eat food. So essentially, what else do I need? I got birds. I got some friends to talk to online, and I've got some eggs. That's all you really need. Seriously. And I got a hose. I can brush my teeth with a hose. I don't recommend it. Don't do it. It sucks. But like that, like I'm in this field, and I was just growing the TikTok page. You know, I'd already had a couple of videos under my belt that had over 1 million views. I've had a couple other videos, not quite 1 million views, but you know, I've gotten out there. So I had built this page, and I was at like 10,000 followers on TikTok. I can't stop the show. All I have is the show at this point. Like I just
it's feeding your birds, dude.
It's just me and my birds at this point, bro. I've lost everything else. And I don't want to say I lost, because I did give up my sales business. I gave that up. I never lost it. I could have kept fucking doing it, you know, and none of this would have ever happened. But I gave it up because I just wanted the family, right? Like with the long distance relationship, I wanted it to work, and I gave cash flow to make a relationship work, which you got to have cash flow if you want to make a relationship work. If anybody tells you elsewise,
it's a lie. Yeah, your girlfriends want you to take them out to dinner, is what I've learned, Ducky. Your girlfriend wants you to take it. My wife wants me to take her out to dinner. You know, like it's. Can I ask you a question?
Your girlfriend, your fiance, yeah.
Okay, so my question for you is: you're making your TikToks, and your whole family is telling you go get a job, and you're like, no, the show's got to keep going. Why? Why did the show have to keep going? Like, why did you keep doing that?
That is also a great. I think it's probably because I got a couple of screws loose in my head. Any normal person would have been like, "You're right, I need a job," which I did get jobs. You know, I worked. But why? I think because of the grit that I had built up, spending 7 years in a sales industry that was commission only. If I didn't go perform at my best, then I wouldn't have gotten paid for the last 7 years of my life. Right? Like I didn't just go work a salary job. Sometimes I kind of wish, like, you know, I would, because I wouldn't have had to go through bullshit, you know. And I consider it bullshit because it's like, why is this guy sleeping in his car 2 years, you know? But I think it was just that grit that I had built up in the sales industry. Like, you know, I'm gonna fucking sell some shit, and I'm gonna do this because I've been doing this, you know. Like, it's going to happen. And eventually, after years, I'd figured out I could go a whole day and not make a sale, not make any money. But guess what? Tomorrow I wake up, it's a new day. I have a new opportunity at it. And because I had spent so long learning how to do sales, I think when I had just picked up the phone, it became an addiction to me. You know, like I want to shout out Grant Cardone, because I listened to him about a decade ago when I was getting out of high school. And he had said, like, hey, like, I was a drug addict, and you know, I was doing drugs 10 times a day. And then, like, he said he had turned his addiction into something else, which was for him sales. I had learned from that at a young age, and that's what kind of inspired me to say, I'm going to take the leap and get into the sales field initially, right? Like, because I had an opportunity to get into the sales industry. So I was like, I'm going to do it, right? And I kind of turned that addiction mentality into something else, to where, like, now I don't, this is what I do. You know, I'm addicted to it. Getting on the internet, hitting some replies, making a video, like, that's just what I do at this point. It's become who I am. But I'm addicted to it. That's the easiest way to say it. Like, why does the show go on? Because I even through the failure, even through the not seeing money, even through, I just became addicted to it. You know, I was on an island. I had just given up my relationship, essentially, given up my friend circle in an industry, moved across the country so I could go meet brand new people. You know, like it became like a sanctuary in a sense to me, right? Like Jasmine, I like to say, saved me because I was in a dark place mentally, you know, to the point of like, why am I even here on this earth? Like everything I knew is no longer there and I'm still alive. That's a problem, right? So when I had hatched out Jasmine, it gave me that sense of purpose. Like, hey, like I'm gonna see this duck grow. I'm gonna see this duck, you know, just like just like the business. And you know, when I was running a sales business, how do you grow your sales business? Well, you go do sales because you need to drive money to your business, and then you teach people how to do it, and you show them how to be successful at it. So Jasmine to me essentially was me learning how to just decompress from the depression of not having an identity anymore, right? And me putting a video on YouTube was really like, look at Mr. Beast. He made a video 10 years ago, and you know, look at him now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was necessarily all the success, but I think to me it was like, look at me, right? Like if you go back to my first YouTube video, you're gonna be like, holy cow, you know, I was really overweight. I was drinking beer every day. You know, like I was not that healthy essentially, and my mind, I don't know if it was right. So raising Jasmine to me was like it took my focus away from I'm gonna get drunk tonight. It took my focus away from, you know, my life is over. Like I got this little baby fucking duck and we're gonna make it live. You know what I mean? She's gonna have a great time doing it too. Because, you know, and then me putting the videos out there was like me just hitting the sales floor. All right, let's learn how to make a video. Let's learn how to make a video. Let's learn how to make a video. And I just did it repetition until I'm confidently, I still don't know how to edit a video. I'm not a producer. I can't, I don't want to say I can't, but like I don't know how to do those things. I know how to talk to the camera. I know because I spent years doing sales, and I know how to care for something. You know, like how else do I put it? There really is no other way to put it. You know,
It's just
like
in you.
it. But is it though? You know, like because it's like if I didn't spend the last decade of my life doing everything else, would it be in me? If I would have
Yeah.
made one different decision, you know what I mean? So is it? I don't know. I think it's just like playing it. I don't know. It's like playing a
I,
video game. You play a
it's like
video game,
playing a
and
video game.
you go get your stats up. You go, you know, you do anything over the course of a long enough period of time, it's eventually going to give you, you know, some form of result, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think sometimes too, when you're playing a video game, you don't always necessarily understand why you're leveling up your stats for a particular reason. Sometimes you're
Right.
like, do I dump them into intelligence or do I dump my stats into strength? And you don't always know which one to pick because you don't know what's going to come down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But what you said about the show must go on is like just ringing for me because it's like I'm in the same boat, right? I've been producing content for 13 years. It's like not the first time I've been not with an employer, right? Like salaried health benefits. I'm just doing this. I'm winging it like you are. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, like, does it feel weird to move back in with your legs between? Yeah, I'm here at my mom's house with my wife. Yeah. Do you feel that sometimes? 100%. But would I have done it differently? Like, then I hear your quote of like, the show must go on. Like, no, brother, I still would have ended up here still doing content, like zoomed out. You still would have zoomed out, fed your duck because your duck was feeding you. And the most important thing wasn't even the content. The most important thing was I have to feed my duck quality food and make sure she's warm and has water because she's giving me eggs, which if people don't know, I'm from South Jersey. Duck has been living out of a car before. Uh my family always taught me all you need is eggs, bread, and milk and water. And you can live indefinitely. Like people lived on gruel. And if you're eating duck eggs, correct me if I'm wrong, Ducky, but for the audience out there who are animal nerds, aren't duck eggs more nutritious than chicken eggs? Or is that a what is that? Is that a myth?
Uh, yeah, no, that's not a myth. Duck eggs just in here. I'm not a scientist, but I did study a thing or two. Duck eggs are on average larger than chicken eggs, so you're just going to get more quantity in them, but also their
More
diet's a little bit
calories.
different. Yeah, so like you're going to get like 30% more protein, because it's just on average a little bit larger. There is some more technicalities behind like their digestive and what they eat, but to me, chicken eggs, they taste great. Duck eggs, they're an acquired taste, to be honest. They really are.
I've
They,
not
they
had a
do
duck
taste
egg yet,
different.
dude. I'll be honest with you. I've eaten like warthog. I've eaten like impala. Like I've eaten a lot. I've eaten a bug, like one of those bugs. I gotta find the name of it. Yeah, I ate a bug. It
Oh,
was a delicacy in South Africa, but like I did it because we were doing like a fertility thing, not a fertility
right.
thing, but they had like a whole show, and they were like, "Eat this bug," and I'm like, "All right." So me and my mom-in-law ate a bug, but I totally lost track of why I'm talking about eating bugs. But
Why
I
do you
think
eat
to
bugs?
like, why do I eat bugs? Because I think we're gonna have to eat bugs eventually. No,
You will eat bugs to be happy.
no, I was talking about how I've never had a duck egg, but I grew up, and I don't think me and Ducky have even gotten like me and Duck talk like on the side all the time. But like Ducky, I went to an agriculture high school, like a local
That's dope.
regional. Yeah, so like I took instead of taking home ec, my freshman year of high school, I took agriculture. So you walk into ag class, and your grade is determined by how many rabbits you keep alive, or how many flowers die in your semester. So like you would just be given a plant. You'd be given something to care for. Your first day, you'd walk in, and Mr. D, I'm not going to dox him, but Mr. D would be like, "All right, Danny, you have this rabbit, you have this tilapia, and you have this poinsettia. The winter break is December 20 whatever. Whatever is alive, you're going to pass, and whatever is dead, you're going to fail." And I thought they were fucking with me. They were not fucking with me. My flower died, and then I went to Home Depot and I bought a replacement. That I could replace.
Oh
Replacing
my.
a dead rabbit was more difficult, but my rabbit luckily didn't die. But yeah, we raised a goat. We would breed the goat every semester. We would raise tilapia and then donate them to food banks. So like when Duck's talking about like these eggs versus these eggs, like I wanna live on a fucking homestead. Like that's my goal. I want to raise my own. I'm
That
looking
was
at
that was never my goal. But
but it is my goal. I'm inspired by you, brother. You're living the dream in my book. I was just talking to my wife and my friend downstairs. I'm painting Warhammer figures like with a streaming setup, and they're like, "You couldn't live in the woods." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I would gladly sell this shit to go hand start fire and cook my
bro, I
own
was
fish."
doing that through the fucking winter months, like
I love the
cracking
winter.
eggs.
I sleep
And if
deep,
I had
brother.
money left over, I could either buy some ramen or like the cheapest cut of meat at the fucking deli.
Yeah, but here's the thing, we could go out, we could hunt a deer. We could hunt something and then thank it for its donation. Like I would survive with people, but I to bring it back to Duck, like I think like his origin story is like super important because like and you made a joke about it like 15 minutes ago. I wrote down the note because it's a good clip. He was like, "We're 15 minutes in. I haven't talked about my duck sanctuary." I'm like, "Good. Good." Because we
We're
didn't
turning
want to talk about
turning in.
important, serious things, but then he did. So Duck, for the audience, because we're 38 minutes, and I'm not gonna keep going too long. Like, we got
Yeah.
time, but like it's New Year's Eve, so we're recording this on New Year's Eve. I'm gonna post it tomorrow as long as Duck approves it. But we want to put it on Spotify for the New Year. So if you're listening, it's gonna be 2026. Duck, it's 2026 now, so I'd love for you to kind of give people the now.
The
Where are you? Are you in a sanctuary? Are you in a car? Because on Spotify, people are gonna be listening. So like I'm picturing my mom listening and is like, does Duck live? Does Duck live in his car, buddy?
Well,
No.
I am living. I am live because we're recording this right now. So yes, I am live. But no, I'm not living in my car anymore. I want to give a huge shout out to Deanne because Deanne she had been watching my videos and she had put two and two together that I was out here in a field living in my car through the middle of winter cooking duck eggs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she said, "Hey, do you want to come stay here because like I feel bad you're dying in a field?" And I was like, I felt weird about it at first, not like just because like my past was like, the first place I moved into didn't work out. The second place I moved into obviously didn't work out. And the third place really fucked me over because I got robbed. So I was kind of like a little sketched out about it. And I was like, yeah, I'd come stay, but going through all the mental there. But no, huge shout out to Deanne because without her, I don't think Duck V2 would even be possible. Seriously, because not only are we building on the blockchain, we have the decent Ducks V1, and then eventually the V2 to come out. But we're doing IRL Sanctuary. We got the IRL Sanctuary V1 that I'd spent the last year and a half, living and recording with. And here, we had been blessed to have a spot to build another sanctuary, so we can take in more birds. So no, for everybody listening on Spotify, I am not quote unquote going through the mud anymore. Although yes, I am, because you're still watching us do a startup. You're still watching this in real time.
You're in the startup mud. You're in the startup mud. And I was on and off screen because it's New Year's Eve and my wife and my friend are getting ready to go out and get festivities. So sorry I made you rant by yourself, but
you're good.
But so Duck, to everybody who is not up to date, because information is scattered. If you find Duck on TikTok out of his car, it's an old video. He is in a nice place now. Thank you to Deanne, and like I'm really excited because like I can confirm I've sent Duck a laptop to confirm he has the domicile. He did receive the package, and he's gonna be using it. So it wasn't even to give him.
We're using it right now.
Yeah, we're using it right now. And then Duck is going to be using this laptop. I saw him. I'm not going to give too much away. I'm not even going to say anything, but the laptop is there, which means Duck has power. Duck has food and heat. And Duck even oversleeps past morning spaces while I'm up like an asshole at 7 a.m. Because Duck doesn't have to do that anymore. Duck's been super successful, which is why he's on this podcast. So Duck, I want to know, because obviously it's New Year's and I have to ask you so I can pull myself off the screen and close the door. It's 2026 when this goes live. It's 2026 when this is a banger.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, brother. Early. So in like 24 hours when this goes public, like I want to ask you, like, what are your goals for 2026, my brother? Like, what are you trying to achieve? And I know that question sucks as a founder, but like personal goals, like even emotional goals. Like one of my goals that I told you off stage that I like will publicly say is like I'm just trying to work on listening and just being a good producer, a quiet producer, like a really quiet fucking producer. Duck is laughing. But I just stalled for a couple seconds for you, buddy. But like 2026, like what are some of your goals, man? For any
I can give you, personal and professional. Personal goals, I want to get better at organizing and planning, because if you can't tell, none of my last 3 years of my life have been organized or planned. I've just had a duck in a will. So I want to get better personally at organizing, planning. I want to eventually quit smoking cigarettes, but that's not high up on the priority list. I'll get there when I get there. So those are personal. Professional, get out in the field and finish the build of Duck Sanctuary V2. So IRL content V2, finish the Sanctuary build. It's the winter months, so I'm not going to stress myself out and work through the winter months like I did last winter. We could knock it out in like a day or two in the spring, get the ponds going. And then I would like to professionally as well. I know we had talked about this. I want to launch the program through the school systems. I'd like to get that going towards 2026. Live Duck TV after we build the Sanctuary V2, live Duck TV 24/7. And then there was one other thing I wanted to do. Oh yes, so that way all of our friends in crypto don't have to be waiting forever. I would like to eventually get around to the Duck V2 for the crypto project. Regardless of how you feel, crypto. I came into crypto not knowing shit. TikTok was taken away from me, so I just did the next best thing, which was move platforms to X. And then I learned all about crypto.
You found a new toy to play with. It's fine.
Yeah. So, But I want to eventually release the Ducks V2 and tie it back into what we've been building the last 3 years in IRL, because the technology, to my understanding, it is going to be the next wave of things. Um, that's how I'm understanding it. So I'll leave you with that.
So Duck leaves you with his goals, and what I want to inspire the audience or encourage you guys to do is like put some goals down. I like how you did professional, personal, and some like miscellaneous goals. That like not everything has to be monetarily like driven. I think is something that like during the holiday I learned is like you can find value and derive value from a lot of different things. So by setting a goal that is not uh monetarily tied, kind of gives you some freedoms in like exploring different parts of yourself that you
Don't
didn't
get me
know you
wrong. I
could.
mean, the finances are important as
The
well. Like
finances are
I
nuts.
have, so I break my goals down 3 ways. I just only talked about two of them. I always do
Oh,
I always do personal first, because you are your business. So if you're doing well, your business is going to do well, right?
mm,
So personal goals first, and then I do professional goals. So like business plan, things that I want to execute. And then the last one is financial goals, right? I don't tie myself to the financial goal, because when you attach a certain finance to something while you're building something and you don't quite hit that's okay. So, but there is a financial side of things too. Like I
mhm,
have a number in my head. What would I like to achieve this year? Right. I know what I achieved in the last 3 years. One, nothing. Two, I had to go get a job. Three, a little bit of internet money, but I still had to go get a job, nothing I could hang my hat on. So there is a financial side of things as well, but it's not as important. Your personal is the most important. You got to be right between the ears. That I
mm,
think that should be everybody's top priority. Be right between the ears, right? Because if you're not, you could have this most successful business in the world, but like if you die tomorrow, then like do you even get to enjoy it?
yeah,
So
yeah.
exactly.
No, I mean I'll answer that one real quick because it's I so you got to be right between the ears. You got to be right between the ears is like that what you just said. Like if you're not watching the video companion guys, if you're driving, I want you to know that Duck gestured between his two ears. That you need to be right there, because you are your business. So personal comes first, and for Duck, and then that drives your decision making, and that's driving your 2026 is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, what you put it like. I keep it simple, like I used to drink a lot and I got real fat and I was drunk all the time. So like my decisions, my memory game was not good.
Mm,
So like, this year I drink less, I drinking water. That's a personal goal that I had tied to myself, right? And in over a year of drinking less, what do I achieve from it? I'm drinking water. I'm losing some weight. I'm like I'm getting healthier. I'm getting more active outside. I'm remembering conversations. So that was a personal goal. Like I think those things are important. Like I've invested in myself in this last year, and this is a challenge. I know I don't want to like overshill, my channels and stuff, but like seriously, go to my YouTube page. It's still
mm,
named just Duck It. I think I don't think I changed it to Decent Duck Sanctuary. Per a good recommendation. Go look at my like first long form videos. Look at the person I am there, and then go look at my most recent videos, and then look at that person. I see two different people,
mm.
and that is the biggest thing, because the person that you want to be is not the person that you are.
If I just had a weird question, but I know like YouTubers do this, and I've done this where like I've recorded a video and then 10 years later it whatever I get a notification. You just said that you've noticed a difference from that guy in your first video on YouTube, which we're going to link in the show notes because I think this is a really good juxtaposition. So
I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
you are going to be embarrassed because people are
Very.
actually going to watch this. I'm going to
I
watch
know.
it.
Oh boy.
So, but I want to know before I watch it, like, okay, the person from that first video to the person today is different. What would the person from today tell the person from video number one before they press that record button? What would you tell them as like one thing to just keep in mind?
To keep in mind. Oh
Just keep in
boy.
mind.
that where you start isn't where you're gonna finish. I mean, I,
Yeah.
yeah, just keep going. I don't know, keep going and know that, yeah.
Dude, I love it. I mean,
What
just
else
keep
would I tell
going.
myself? You know, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
Are you glad you didn't give up?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there were plenty of
Did
times
you think about giving up was my follow-up.
I thought about giving up plenty of times over the journey. You know, I'm very hard headed. So if I see something in my head, like I'm gonna keep going because I just I don't know, I'm in that belief. But
Mm,
there's been plenty of times over the journey to where it's like I'm just gonna give up, you know. And I did give up on a few things, you know. Just Duck It isn't my only TikTok page. I've built like 10 TikTok pages and like 5 other Instagram pages and like 2, 3, 4 YouTube channels.
mm.
So it's you know, so I had not necessarily given up, but like I'd given up on like the brand or given up on like, all right, maybe I'm not gonna try and do podcasts out of the smoke shop that I work at, you know.
Not a good business model. Not a good
Right,
business model. Yeah.
right. So
People hate smoke shops on YouTube. It's statistics, you know,
you
like
couldn't tell it was a smoke shop.
Coca-Cola will not sponsor an ad on any of your podcasts, whether
So
you
I'd given
smoke
up
or
on
not.
certain things. Yeah.
I've asked. We've tried to do I wanted to do a series because I always had asthma growing up. I'll just throw this one red like I had asthma growing up and I was like, how funny would it be if like every time you died in a video game, like somebody just puffed fucking cigarette smoke right in your fucking face? So if you just put me in a hookah bar and then every time I got shot, somebody hookah'd in my face, like, and we ran it as a charity, like, it's worth the like not even damage, but like I just want to see what would happen. And I think that's
Bro,
where like me and you get along. I
big
just want
vapes
to
would
see it.
probably sponsor you. Big vapes or so if you ran like a hookah, big vape
A
would sponsor you.
24-hour hookah-thon. Like
They would
every
be
time
like,
somebody donos, I hit it.
"Ah."
Whatever. We're not talking about my shit.
That's
We're
a
talking
rabbit
about
hole for another
we're talking
episode.
yeah. Ducky, with our last like we have like 9 minutes because I like to keep it like, you know, an hour is like fantastic. It's New Year's, it's 2026,
Right.
and we've talked about
People
your
don't want to
goals.
spend their whole New Year's listening to us talk.
No, nobody gives a shit about just a duck farmer and some guy living in his mom's craft room with a rat. Um,
Hey, hey, don't knock it. All right.
don't knock
Be
it till you
appreciative
try it.
of it. Be
I
appreciative
love
of
it.
it.
Listen, I'm one of those people like I can't wait. I don't know, man. I can't wait for 2026 because I think like if somebody like you, if somebody like you is still not giving up on this, like internet, e-commerce, NFTs, like if you think you can make your bag, if you're making your bag online, like and you believe it and you're not giving up on it, like that is what inspires me as a producer to be like, all right, I need to get more of this out there and like more of these stories told because like I think a lot of content creators, Ducky, don't tell the part where they sleep in the car.
Oh, most people don't. I
Yeah.
didn't want to. I made a separate page just to make that type of content, and I never posted it to anywhere else. And I only have like one follower on that page.
Yeah, it's your emo page. It's like my old Tumblr page. But like but
Yeah.
it's not like an embarrassing thing. It's like one of those things where like I've slept out of a car and I've thought about it as a producer. I'm like, fuck, I could get 1 million views and get a GoFundMe, like really jam it on people.
I didn't want to take that route. I never asked for a
But I
GoFundMe.
never want to do that. No.
Homeless
And yeah, I've never
donate.
not
I just said
personally.
the dollar I made literally just went back into feeding birds. Like I didn't even. My profit was me going to get a job. You know, I had to tuck my
Yes.
tail between my legs and go get another fucking job. You know. So I always kept the project about it. You know, I didn't go that route, but like there is value in that. Now looking back 3 years, I think there is some value in that, right? Because it's like, fuck, dude, like I should have
It's a
died a couple
tactic. It's more of a
of times.
tactic. You know, it's more of a tactic. And like it also like I want the audience to understand like I know Duck like with like an hour is like literally not enough time to understand a human being, and that's why like I love the really long form. And eventually my goal with this podcast, Duck, like I'm saying it on your episode, is that for season 3, I think my goal is to do like a minimum of 3 hours, you know, season 3 3 hours, but like we'll see because I think the real people don't come out until like they're loose, you know. They're like
Right.
they've
We got to
gotten
have a
the
couple of
bullshit.
weeks in us,
We
you
got to
know?
have a couple drinks. We got to have a toke.
Right.
You know, I think that like creators when they get vulnerable is like, I mean, when they're vulnerable is usually when they fucking build, dude. Like when I'm vulnerable and I need to put food on the table is like when I go harder. And I think that's the same for you. You're like, fuck, dude, I gotta feed. It's another life form. Like you and your duck and the audience, if you can hear this and you're not watching, I can tell you the fucking this guy will do for his ducks what most humans wouldn't do for each other. He's laughing because he knows he knows that like Duck understands. I mean, you got to understand about Duck. What you have to understand about Duck is like he will like throw himself in front of a train for a duck, and if there was a dumb fuck on a train track, he might laugh and film it. Because there's an no, I'm just kidding. He wouldn't do that. I would do that, but Duck would not. Duck. It depends on the
But no,
opportunity.
if I can save that duck, bro, honestly, ducks brought me out of a deep fucking a dark place, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, be thankful you have a roof over your head. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes. Yes.
if you're saying go get a job, like seriously, like take my advice, go get a job because there's 168 hours in a week. You only spend 40 of it at your job. You got
Yes. You've
3
got
more
time.
full-time jobs of time in your fucking week that you could utilize to build your business. Just because you get a job doesn't mean it's over with. But I think where most people give up is because they spend their 40 hours in a job, and then when they get home, they would rather doom scroll and fucking order Starbucks.
Right,
You
jerk
know,
off
it,
and play video games. No offense,
right,
gamers. No offense.
right.
Listen, I'm gonna start calling that part out. Like, I really like that Duck said he's like, yo, like if I don't want to be bigger and I want to lose weight, I'm gonna stop drinking as much. Like
Yeah.
gamers, that is the kind of fucking self awareness that you need to have. If you're putting 500 fucking hours into Marvel Rivals, I'm talking about me. If you put 500 hours into a fucking video game, and then you're fucking bitching like buddy, buddy, buddy. Duck with 4 minutes until the New Year's. Not really, guys. It's 6:23 p.m. Eastern time at the time of recording. But I have to be at 6:30 is my hard stop. Duck, you've been on the podcast now. You survived the gauntlet. You survived. We're gonna have some show notes at the end.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I gave you zero preparation. You crushed it. But I wanted to thank you for being the first guest on season 2 because like I'm coming out of like a dark period myself, and I didn't want to live stream and like I just whatever. This is my thing that I'm trying to do. So for you to just be like, yeah, let's hop on, have a drink and go drink a water for you and some alcohol for me.
Marty, if I had a glass of wine, I'd be drinking a glass of wine right now.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I wanted to say thank you for coming on and the audience this season we're shifting more like I want to do more episodes. I didn't do enough, right? So I'm trying to do like 1 or 2 a day. I'm trying to get at least one up a week. But in the show notes, you guys are going to see a bunch of links and it's all going to say follow Ducks on socials. So, Ducky, how this podcast works because I'm lazy and I have a really good tech stack. I'm going to pull myself off the stage and you get to just be the host. What you need to do for me what you need
Okay.
to do for me and my tech stack is literally just like talk about anything, like say thank you to the listeners and tell them where to go next. That's all
Okay.
you have to do. Just tell them where to go next because I have, without describing too much when we get done the recording, it's going to take everything you say and in the show notes, anything that you say out loud, people will then be called to action. So I'm going to pull myself off. But before I do, everybody is going to listen to Duck, thank Duck, and I want everybody in the comments because I'm not going to talk again. Duck's gonna say Happy New Year, and then I'm gonna kill the recording. But everybody's gonna leave their New Year's resolution, as corny as it is, in the comments because I'm working on a resolution piece of content. More to be discussed. So, Ducky, you have as much time as you want. There's not a 1 minute mark. Don't worry about the fucking time. But thank you as my friend, and thank you as a partner, and thank you as everything. You're getting me through really hard times, and you've helped me a lot in the past couple weeks. So, thank you, dude. And the show is yours. Tell them where to go, and more importantly, just enunciate and feel free to spell shit out for my tech stack because it'll auto link.
Okay.
Cool, man. But thank you. It's been a
Enunciate.
pleasure.
My
Enunciate.
it's
Yeah.
just the way I talk sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
No, again, Danny, I want to give you a thank you because, like Ed said, how did a duck get here? If it wasn't for running into a cool producer like Danny, a duck wouldn't even be here right now. So, my hat's off to you. Literally, I'll take my hats off for the viewers that are watching. If you're listening, I just take my hat off. I put it back on though. So I got to give a shout out to Danny. I got to give a shout out to all the listeners too. I appreciate everybody that took time out of their day. You could be anywhere in the world right now, and you're here listening to a duck talk about how did a duck get here. So none of this would actually be possible if it wasn't for everybody watching. Through the TikToks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, the X and Twitch now, and all that. So huge shout out to everybody that's at home watching this or listening to this if you're out and about, whatnot. And then the only thing I can really leave you with for the time being is our website. It's justduckit.org. You asked me to spell it out, so it's JUSTDUCKIT.org. And not to be mistaken with an IT company. I have very small knowledge of how to be an IT guy, so it's Duck It, not Duck IT. But other than that, again, Danny, thank you for the platform. Thank you for the interview. It's been amazing, and for everybody at home listening, I hope you all have a great rest of your New Year's. And like he said, put your goals down. People underestimate what they could do in a day, but they overestimate what they could do in a day, but they underestimate what can happen within a couple of years. And if you're able to just lock in for a couple of years, regardless of what it is, you're more than likely to achieve whatever that outcome is that you're wanting to achieve. And just be thankful every day. Thankful that you have the opportunity to wake up. And to that, I bode you a happy 2025 and many blessings in 2026.